Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Newsreel viewers. Tonight we are hosting top Middle East researcher and the Vice President of Newsreel and a dear friend, Dr. Mordechai Kedar. At the end of this brief, you will be able to ask Dr. Kedar question. This brief will be recorded and we will broadcast it later tonight all over Newsreel platforms. Dr. Kedar, please.
Good evening to those here, afternoon in America. Today, we were surprised, or actually yesterday we were surprised by the fact that in spite of all the preparations for a great hit to Iran, which Trump prepared for like a week by streaming forces to this area, by declarations, by warnings, by everything, at the end of the day, nothing happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that the Iranians actually are laughing at what is happening. They actually succeed every time and again to deter America. And this is something which, in my humble view, is something which totally destroys the image of the United States of America as a power which can do something in the world. If the United States actually is deterred by Iran because of the Iranian threat to block the Hormuz Straits, and this time it was a threat to burn the oil facilities of the Saudis, of the Emiratis, Bahrainis, maybe Qataris as well, the Omanis. Excuse me, is this the way how to treat a threat like this? If Iran, this state which has no boundaries, rogue state, succeeds to deter the most powerful country in the world only because it threatens everybody in the Gulf, something is missing there. There is no worldview. There is no plan. That's what the Iranians more than sure, and many others in the Middle East. People kept laughing. What is this with Trump? He wants and he strings power, some units to the area, warns everybody to get away from the Middle East, the embassies and everything. And in the end of the day, he does nothing. People are laughing. And in my humble view, this is a very problematic situation which the United States is today. Unfortunately, but this is how the Arab world and the Islamic world around it are looking at the United States of America, a country which has absolutely no idea what to do, absolutely no agenda here in the Middle East. Just remember, only 2 months ago, the whole thing was about the Iranian nuclear program. What is it today? About Hormuz, opening or closing it. Means the oil prices and the commerce traffic in the seas. This is today what the war is. It's not about the nuclear program in Iran. It's not about the missiles which threaten Europe in addition to Israel. It's not about even human rights. Just to remind you, when the war started, it was after Trump told the Iranians that support is on its way, the help is on its way. Means after what he saw on the 8th and the 9th of January, the big massacres in Iran, all of a sudden, the plight of the Iranian citizens all of a sudden became a variable in the international relations vis-a-vis Iran. And now, who is talking about the citizens? Who remembers the nuclear program? Who remembers the missile program? Everything is around. Yes, Hormuz, no Hormuz. And this is how the Iranians succeeded to channel the struggle with America to who will control the seas in a way which will enable the oil to stream from the sources to the places which they have to go to. This is today the war all about. The open seas, free shipping, free movement in global seas system. And this is unfortunately how the Iranians succeeded to frame the problem with America to something which is in their favor. Because now nobody, if there is an agreement about the Hormuz, who will care about the nuclear program? Who will talk about this? Who will talk even about the regime change? Who will talk about the missile program which threatens Europe? And therefore, the conclusion which we have to say is that those who have patience are those who are the winning side, those who don't care about casualties, those who do not care about their own citizens, those who don't care about prices and think because they are dictators, unlike Trump, who is subject to elections and who knows what will happen in November. This is the big difference between a democratic country like the United States, which operates in favor of the citizen, and the citizen at the end of the day has the ability to punish the administration if they behave in a way which doesn't serve his interests. And on the other side, Iran, a country of mullahs who couldn't care less about their own people. From their own view, those people could blow up. The regime doesn't mind. Not only this, if they demonstrate against the regime will kill them. Kill them en masse. So this is the difference. Such a regime is much more sustainable than democratic, soft administration as it is in the democracies, of course, the United States as well. Ladies and gentlemen, now the Western world in general, the United States in particular, Israel as well, have to decide what do we do with this situation. Do we succumb? Do we surrender? Do we raise a white flag in front of those thugs who do not care about their own people, their own welfare, their own money? All they do is spreading havoc, misery all over the region in order to take it over. Who will be the winner in the world in general? Will it be the thugs who couldn't care less about their own people, like China, like North Korea, like Iran? And there is a good relations between these three countries. Don't forget that Iran and North Korea built a nuclear facility in Syria, which Israel had to get rid of 20 years ago. But yes, they cooperate. And I will not be surprised if one day we will hear that Iran has a nuclear weapon which came from a different country, either Pakistan or from North Korea. Nobody knows, because these two countries need money. And if the Iranians have money from the oil industries, they can use it in order to purchase a nuclear bomb so they can have it way before they bother to develop it in Iran. So we have to take it in account. And as a result, the only result or the only conclusion which we can draw is what we said the last time. The only way to save the world from the Iranian regime and its, I would say, conspiracies in order to take the world over, as they claim, is to get rid of the regime. There is no other way to tame them or to educate them or to convince them to behave in a normal way. No, these are not these people. They are more than sure that Allah is speaking from their throat, and Allah is actually operating them in a way which they cannot make any mistake, as we saw in previous time. This is the problem with Iran, and just like what happened with Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein in 2003 was removed only because the world sent troops, boots on the ground, tanks on the ground, in order to fight the army, place after place, town after town, Iraqi army, in order to spread the hegemony of the United States over Iraq. And this actually what enabled the United States to re-establish or to establish modern Iraq. It started with Bremer, the governor, and continued with the others in 2003, finished by Obama in 2010, too early. However, this is what we have this evening, a world which is looking at America and doesn't really know how this superpower can act, will act, wants to act. And yes, people hear that Americans became recently isolationists. Maybe they don't want to mess with other countries. They don't want to mess with other cultures. They don't want to mess definitely with thugs like the Iranians. And they are more than ready to give up on principles which formerly they insisted on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm worried today. I'm worried about the West in general, America in particular, and Israel especially, because Israel is part of the West. Judeo-Christian ideas are those who underline here Israel and European countries and America as well. And if we don't stand together, we will fall one after the other. This is what, in my humble view, the situation of today. And those who are in charge of the survivability, if there is a word, the way or the ability of the West to survive in front of the jihadism, which is promoted by the Iranians these days, should start to get their act together. Otherwise, we are doomed. Otherwise, we are doomed. Because those have agenda, they are more than sure that they are right. They believe that Allah is with them. And we, Jews, are wine drinkers, and Americans are swine eaters, and that Allah has abandoned us, and one day Muslims will devour our states and our people. And this is what they believe, unfortunately. And we give them, more than once, we give them the reason to believe that yes, they can. We give them this ability by the inaction, by the reluctance, by the hesitation, by people who say in the morning one thing, at noon something else, and in the evening they change the discourse dramatically. Ladies and gentlemen, no doubt, the West has to start acting as a unit in order to defend itself, really defend itself physically from the thugs of the jihad in Iran, the Chinese, and maybe the North Koreans as well. They are all feeling much better today than yesterday. Let's hope that our politicians will get their act together, decide what they want to do, and do it once and for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kedar, for this interesting brief. If there are questions from the audience, please open your microphone and ask now. Okay, Dr. Kedar, it seems that everything was clear. So thank you very much.
I've got a question.
And, please, Dan.
Yes,
Hi,
my
Dan.
question is, how will President Trump be persuaded that he has to act as he has promised to? When will that take place? And how will that take place?
Look, President Trump met Netanyahu a few days ago. I believe that this was the axis of the talks, what will happen with Iran. And Netanyahu, in my humble view, knows very well how to represent Israel's point of view and how to forward the Israeli concerns and the Israeli interests. Yet, could very possibly be that Israel's interests are not 100% similar to the interests of the United States of America. In addition, the administration has its own interests in order to stay in power, especially after the midterm elections. And they have to do some things which will not give their opponents a reason to bash them in order to sustain, in order to continue to have 2 years of majority in the Congress and the Senate. Okay, and this is, by the way, also the interest of State of Israel, because we do not want President Trump to become a lame duck if he loses the majority of the houses. So this is why Israel has to weigh between her willingness to see Trump fighting Iran and Israel's willingness to see Trump stays with the majority in the House. So it's a conflicting interest which Israel has, and I hope that Netanyahu with Trump will find a way how to achieve the maximum achievements for our interest.
Well, can I say something?
Yes.
The problem is that President Trump will become a lame duck if he actually pursues the fight against Iran, because today, the majority of Americans do not want that. And that will be reflected in the upcoming November elections. So it's a matter of him deciding one way or the other. He's either going to be a lame duck and defeat Iran, or he will be a president with the power that he has normally had and lose to Iran. It's American politics.
Yeah, it's like a quagmire. Whatever you do, it doesn't serve the interest. Well, I do hope that Trump and his administration have the ability to assess what the American streets or the American voter really wants. I am not in America. I don't live in America, and I cannot impose on the Americans the Israeli point of view. I just hope that people will do things or will continue behaving in a way which will support America on one side and Israel on the other side.
Well, I hope you're right. I think it's a catch-22 right now.
Look, politicians sometimes know how to sneak out from a political problem. Let's hope that they will find it this way today as well.
Thank you. It's very good
Pleasure.
to listen to you.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, so Dr. Kedar, thank you very much for this interesting brief.
Thank
As
you so
discussed, we
much.
will broadcast it all over Newsreel platforms, and we hope to see you again soon. All the best and good night from Israel.
Thank you so much.